Today, we're looking at two wingers, both with 100 current ability, 185 potential ability. One's got maximum pace, the other's got minimum pace. And yeah, to start off, the polygons look wild. Let's jump in. So we got Quentin Quick. Of course, we've mid-journeyed the faces because regen faces are crap. New gen faces are crap, whatever you want to say. But here we go. They've got balanced personalities, the pair of them. This is their balanced personality. We just sort of just picked things at random, except injury proneness, of course, down at 1, because we do not want injuries to interfere in this. Quentin Quick, there you go. 24 pace and acceleration, and everything else is pretty crap. And I'll tell you why. Let's have a quick look at this. If we start editing, edit player attribute details, he's on 100 and 185 potential ability. If we take this down to 1, there you go. That's a rubbish polygon. If we look at his attribute details, recommended current ability, 5. So 20 acceleration and pace for a winger constitutes 95 attribute points. That's nearly half of all potential attribute points that a player can have. That's interesting, right? That is interesting. Anyway, put him back. We'll put him back. Quentin Quick versus Sammy Slow, who has got 1 for acceleration and pace. And of course, because of that, we've got to find 95 attribute points elsewhere. So essentially, he looks world class apart from pace. That is the polygon breakdown. I mean, I'm just going to sit here and let you digest that for a second. I mean, they could not be further apart in terms of players. I'm very interested to see how this one goes. Because for me, whilst pace is a very important attribute in Football Manager, I don't think it's that important. Like, if I was picking a player, I'd be picking Sammy Slow, I think. Would you? I don't know. I mean, is he a bit slow? I mean, if he gets his pace up to about 10, then he's world class. I don't know if Quentin's going to get all of his other attributes up. We will see, though. They both play in exactly the same positions. They're natural at attacking midfielder, left and right. They're both 16 years old. 5 days apart, their date of birth. Probably born in the same hospital. Maybe not, because they might be from different parts of the country. But there you go. 16 years old, even though Quentin looks a hell of a lot older than 16. I apologise. Bit much of a beard for him, but it is what it is. Sometimes mid-journey throws up some random faces. And I've got quite a few, and I've picked someone who's probably a bit too old for this one. You don't need to know the admin behind it, so let's jump in a year and see if 1, they're both still there, 2, how they're looking, and 3, who they've been signed for. Right then, well, isn't that interesting? So you've got Sammy Slow, who's now moved to 107 out of 185. He's currently playing for Watford, and he's internationally capped at England under-19 level. Of course, it's very difficult for him to improve in certain attributes. I mean, he's now a central midfielder, so maybe that's where some of his attribute points have come from. His acceleration and pace has also gone up to 2. He hasn't played for Watford. He made 1 appearance off the bench, and he played once in a cup competition. He actually scored twice in that cup competition, to be fair. So I'm surprised they've not given him more of a chance, but he's on the loan list because they can't assure him of the first team football that he needs, and he does need it to improve his development. I mean, his development's fantastic, really. It's all about quickness and speed. So he needs to really work on his acceleration and pace in the next 2 or 3 years. Otherwise, he's done for. Quentin Quick, however, he's gone to Leeds in the Championship, wanted by Wigan and MK Dons on loan. So as you can see, his attributes have started to fill out a little bit better. We've just seen him go to 116. He can actually play left midfield. He's quite accomplished there. So that's probably where he's been playing, because Leeds probably don't play attacking midfield left and right. But he has improved elsewhere in terms of his attributes, which of course is contributed to the 16 attribute point growth that he has received. Did not make an appearance for Leeds at all in the league. However, he did make 1 appearance in the cup, and he also scored. So both players are sort of mirroring each other at the moment, both scoring in cup competitions for the respective clubs. He's been capped by England at under 20 level, which is interesting because Sammy Slow, he's also been capped at under 20 level. Okay, well, there we go then. And Quentin Quick, as you can see here, he's now changed to fairly professional personality. So he's obviously come into Leeds, and he's probably upped his professionalism. That's at 15. Where's Sammy Slow's? 9. That's a huge disparity, isn't it? That's a huge disparity. So either Sammy Slow's dropped in terms of professionalism, but he's stayed balanced. That's where they were at the beginning. They were balanced in terms of personality. His professionalism has gone through the roof, which means he's probably been mentored quite well by some first team regulars at Leeds. They've dragged him up to being a fairly professional personality, which is actually going to be really good for him going forward because he's going to need to really round off a lot of these attributes. Really interested to see how things progress. So all we're going to do is we are going to jump through just the 1 year again into the future to 2025. But before we do that, while you're here, subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff, because there's lots more coming, there's lots more there, and yeah, I always like to listen to you guys about what experiments you'd like to see. So subscribe, comment down below about what you'd like to see, and yeah, watch it come to the channel soon-ish, if it's a good idea. If it's rubbish, I probably won't, but you know, yeah. Subscribe. So here we go then. They are both still at their clubs in the Championship, and Quentin Quick can now play midfield right and left, and Sammy Slow can also nearly play on the right of midfield as well as central midfield and left midfield as a natural. Sammy Slow is at 113 out of 185. His pace has now gone back down to 1 and his acceleration is at 2. He's still only capped at under 20 level. He's made 6 appearances for Watford, 5 off the bench in the Championship. Again, he played in the cup competition and again he got a goal. Oh, it was a penalty. It was a penalty. That wasn't a penalty though previously. So yeah, interesting. So he's made a few appearances off the bench. Looks like they're trying to sort of bring him through. He's still balanced personality. His recommended current ability is 112. His current ability is 113. Of course, his potential ability is still at 185. Will he get there? That is the question. And I feel like most of his attribute points that have been coming through here are coming from positional. Dribbling, I think, went up, didn't it, to 19. Now it's back down at 18. He's losing attribute points that he's gained. Not looking good for Sammy. Quentin, on the other hand, he's wanted by a who's who. To be fair, both of them are wanted by a who's who of lower division clubs. Interestingly, Quentin at Leeds, he's worth 28 to 85 million pounds. He is a resolute personality now. What has changed there in terms of his resoluteness? I'm not too sure. I can't remember what everything was on, but something has changed to turn him into being resolute. He's outspoken in terms of his media handling style. I can't remember if that was the case before, but as you can see here, his recommended current ability is 119, but his current ability is 121, so he's jumped considerably higher, and he's actually playing in less positions than Sammy Slow. So Quentin Quick has improved around here quite considerably, and yeah, it's starting to round him out a bit better. He's not looking as pointy, is he? Didn't manage to make an appearance for Leeds at all in this most recent season though, so he's not played at all for them. Still only capped under 20 level, and as we mentioned, are wanted by a who's who of lower league teams, and Leeds, funnily enough, have actually been promoted to the Premiership at the second time of asking. So he was part of, well, he wasn't really part of a Leeds promotion winning season, was he? Because he didn't play at all. But his team has been promoted, whereas via the playoffs, and hang about, Watford were also in the playoffs. Leeds beat Watford in the final. So they could have played. They didn't, of course, but they could have done. And as you can see, the gap is closing. Of course, it still is a huge disparity in terms of Quentin and Sammy's polygons, but it is starting to move in the right direction. So I'm interested to see how things progress moving forward. Hopefully both players get a loan in this coming summer, because they're both wanted, very highly sought after. So we're going to go through again one more year, see how they got on with their loan spells, if they had them. And yeah, we'll check back in 2026. So here we go then. Right, well, Quentin Quick has only played 8 games and he never got that loan move. But he played 7 times for Leeds in the Premier League. 2 starts, 5 off the bench, 6.56. Not brilliant. Not brilliant at all. And unfortunately, his recommended current ability is 128 and his current ability is 130. So he's basically only got to about 130. Whereas if we look at Sammy Slow, he's moved up to 125, and that's because he's almost certainly had a loan spell. He has had a loan spell. His dribbling's back up at 19. His pace is up at 3. His acceleration's up at 4. Things have really started to move. Why he's been played at right back, I don't know, but he has. Nothing screams right back about him there. No, not good tackling. Bad marking, no, not good at heading, pace rubbish, all the things you want as a fullback, he hasn't got. Someone's played him there. Why? But he went to Reading and got 12 goals and 17 assists with 4 player of the matches in League One. And Reading got promoted. He got promoted with Reading in that season. And he played on the left of midfield in the Team of the Year. So we got into the Team of the Year on the left of midfield, did Sammy Slow. We're getting a 7.08. Actually, one of the better players for the division. Did not win Player of the Season, though. That's fine. Absolutely fine. His professionalism has moved up to 10 because it was, of course, at 9. What else has happened in terms of his hidden attributes? Can't really see much else that might have changed. I think his temperament's gone down, maybe. But he's balanced in terms of personality still. Again, still very well-rounded. The pace improving is a good sign. He is only 19 and he's had a good loan spell under his belt. Watford are 23rd in the Championship. Will still in charge, no less. Watford are in 10th, mid-table in the Championship. Not good enough, in my opinion. Not good enough at all. They'll want to be getting up to the Premier League, and Leeds finished 13th. So, Quentin Quick will be a Premier League player once again. Sammy Slow will be in the Championship. Will he actually play for Watford? Will Quentin Quick play for Leeds, or will he go out on loan? Rather than jumping in every year, because it's now getting a bit... I think we're going to go through 2 more years to 2028. Let's go. That then, it's all kicked off. It's all kicked off. So, first things first, Quentin Quick, 147. Sammy Slow, 143. Quentin Quick Quick is wanted by Juventus, and Sammy Slow is at Juventus. So, where do we even begin? Let's go with Sammy Slow to begin with. £20.5 million is potential cost, minimum cost of 14.75. So what happened is Watford in the Championship, 43 games, 17 starts, 26 off the bench. So he didn't play loads, 4 goals. He then got signed by Juventus with the loan back for the season, where he played every single game for Watford. 14 goals in 46 appearances in a season where Watford finished 11th, which was a marked improvement on 20th the season before that. They were nearly relegated to League One. No wonder he wanted to move to Juventus. But he's moved to Juventus, yet to play for Juventus, but he is there, is old Sammy Slow. And Sammy Slow has got 6 pace, 7 acceleration. His dribbling is now at 20. He's rounding out brilliantly. I think some more of these attributes have gone green. His technicals have moved up even further. I think his vision's being up at 18 is a big one. Technique there, first touch, like I say, dribbling. So he's improving. He's only on 20k a week, which I think is a bit of a steal, really. £20 million they've paid for him after add-ons, and £20,000 a week. 21 under 21 caps for England, 6 under 21 goals. That was difficult to say. And he's got a 142/143 current ability, so he's not far away. So he's over halfway there, Bon Jovi style, and he is living on a prayer in Italy. I don't know where this analogy is going. Quentin Quick is still at Leeds, and as we said, he is wanted by Juventus. He's played 48 times for Leeds, so he's actually played about 40 games for them in the last 2 years. So not as many as you'd like, but as you can see, his attributes are rounding out nicely. Plenty of yellows knocking about, and we are knocking on the door of a couple of greens. I'm thinking, well, agility's already up at a green. Natural fitness is at 15. I don't know if that's ever going to change. But some of these, I mean, determination and leadership probably won't change really that much, but we're getting 13s and 14s. Another season, and I think one of these is going to go to a green. 21 under 21 caps and 2 goals. And in terms of Leeds, well. So he left Leeds during their Premier League after their Premier League season where they stayed up. He left. He went to Stoke on loan, playing 29 games in the Championship. 1 goal, 1 assist. Not great, is it? Leeds had then subsequently come back down, where he played 41 times, 12 appearances starting, 29 off the bench, which is actually brilliant because, like I said, 41 games over 2 years. No, that 41 games was in 1 season. It was 29 games for Stoke. So I'm not sure how I missed that because it's just very clearly there. I was not thinking straight. So there you go. But he's moving on quite nicely. And Sammy Slow, there you go. Once again, the gap is closing. And I'd love Quentin Quick to go to Juventus. I'd love them to both be at the same club. How interesting would that be? It's funny as well that I think Sammy's the much better player, obviously much more well-rounded. It's just the pace that's lacking. And he's on less than half of what Quentin is in terms of weekly wage. And Quentin's playing the bloody Championship with Leeds. I mean, when they came down as bottom. They came down bottom AF. They did get in the playoffs last year, but they did not manage to go up, unfortunately. And let's have a look at the playoffs, shall we? Leeds got to the final against Sheffield United. And in that final, they lost 2-1. And did he play? He did not. He did not make the squad. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. There you go. So he's wanted by Juventus. So I think we've got to come back in 2029. 1 more year in the future because we've got to see if he makes it to Juventus. No, he didn't. But he did make it to PSG. Okay, so Sammy Slow's wanted by Everton. We'll check in with Sammy Slow. His pace and acceleration has not changed. Personality has remained relatively stagnant. In terms of Juventus then, well, he's only had 1 season with them. 13 appearances off the bench. And that's enough for Everton to say, yeah, we'll have him, please. At 22 years old, he's now on 21k a week. 5% wage rise? Yeah, 5% yearly wage rise, that'll be. 30 under 21 international caps for England. 9 under 21 international goals. In terms of Juventus, did they win the league? They did. They won the league. So does that mean Eric Ten Hag's in charge? Does that mean matey boy's league champion? He's the Serie A league champion. He's named in Juventus' seasonal best 11. Emil Smith-Rowe. Sammy Slow was a substitute. 11 appearances, 4 goals. All of his appearances were off the bench. So that's very interesting that he managed to be in their seasonal best 11. Very, very odd, if you ask me. Quentin Quick, though, here is the story. He is at PSG, and we haven't got another green attribute, and we've lost an acceleration point. He's on £99,000 a week, so he's really raking in the money here. £53 million PSG paid for him in January, and he made 6 appearances, 4 starts, 2 off the bench, £47.5 million up front, 53 after add-ons. He was doing very well for Leeds in the Championship. 27 games he'd started, 1 off the bench, 7 goals. He was getting 7.05 in a season where Leeds United did win promotion. Well, does that mean that he's got promoted? Did PSG win the league? PSG, of course, won the league. So in terms of his milestones, he's been bought by PSG. He's the French Cup winners and League One Uber Eats champion, but he's not promoted to the Premier League because he left. That's unfortunate. But 10 attribute points separates the pair of them. And if we have a look at the comparison of the two players, and again, Quentin Quick is for me, he doesn't. Oh, I'm not convinced. He's obviously doing better and he's having the better time of it. Maybe pace is that important. I don't know. Anyway, so they're both at big clubs now. I don't know if they will move. I mean, Sammy Slow might go to Everton, but we're going to go through. We're going to 3 years now. The biggest jump we've done so far. There'll be 25, and I'm sure attributes will be really rounding out, and we'll be getting. If we're not close to the 185, they're never getting there. Where do we even start with this one? Sammy Slow's at AC Milan. He moved for £51 million from Juventus. He moved in January. So just now in January, he's moved 21 appearances for AC in the second half of this season. 9 assists, no goals. Juve, they weren't playing him loads. A lot of time they were bringing him on off the bench. That's where he was predominantly playing for them, off the bench. Jack Wilshere is in charge of AC Milan. Jack Wilshere's management credentials are bloody hell, they're good. He's also a coach. He's a player. He's an under-18s manager at Arsenal when you start the save file. So if you can get him in as a coach, he's got some phenomenal attributes there. Old Jackie Wilshere. That's thrown me. Sorry, Jack Wilshere's in charge of AC Milan. Did not expect it. So Juve have been winning the league. He's left Juve. Oh, and lost out on goal difference. Or is it head-to-head? It's head-to-head in Italy, isn't it? Yeah, AC Milan lost twice to Juve. So head-to-head or goal difference, they lost both times. But level on points. 90 points as well. That's a big total to come second. Deary me. So yeah, Sammy Slow was at 155. Again, pace is up at 7, acceleration at 9. A lot of his other attributes are fantastic, but he's, whereas Quentin Quick's at 179, so he's going to hit the 185 potential. Sammy Slow is not. And of course, his acceleration's gone back up now. Crossing up at 16. Dribbling and first touch really high. Anticipation's high. His leadership's gone up. He's rounding out to be a very good player. But still, for me, looking at the polygons, I mean, it's getting much closer. And to be honest, Quentin's mentals have actually superseded Sammy's, which is not something I expected to happen. The physicals are the same. In terms of attacking and technicals and all that, they are considerably worse, and I don't think he's ever going to quite catch because he's got 6 attribute points to play with now. But that being said, he's doing a hell of a lot better. He's a much better player by 20 odd attribute points. This pace, this speed is of course doing the business for him. He is playing for PSG. He is a mainstay in their team. They've won the league every single year. He is taking home the trophies, and there you go. He's played more games. He's scored more goals. He's 20 caps for England, 4 goals, whereas Sammy Slow has never been called up to the national team. Never been called up because he's too slow. Tell that to Jordan Henderson and Harry Maguire, eh? They aren't blessed with pace. They're in the squad all the time. Right. 25 years young. Another 3 years then to 2035. They'll be 28. They'll be starting to peak/decline. So any further attribute changes will be downwards. So it'll be interesting to see who gets there. I'm sure Quentin will. Not sure Sammy will. So let's go to 2035. They've stayed at the same clubs they were at before. Quentin got to 180. Sammy's at 161. So there's not a lot of difference in it. Man United want Quentin. So we'll look at him first. Oh, his pace and acceleration have actually dropped to 19. But other things have probably come up to accommodate for that. 46 caps, 13 goals. He's got a dual nationality now of French, because he's been in France for so long with PSG. Wow. Nearly swore then. He's scored a hell of a lot of goals for someone who's playing on the wing. Well, I assume he's playing on the wing. De Zerbi's in charge. He must be he's playing in one of these two positions. Probably playing instead of him. Ansu Fati and Quentin Quick on the wings. Has he won a Champions League? There is no Champions League trophy there. He's the captain, though. The captain of PSG is Quentin Quick. Sammy Slow is wanted by Chelsea. Acceleration's now at 10. His pace is at 7 still. His dribbling's up at 20. I think he's been up at 20 for a while, though, hasn't it? His attributes are ran out fantastically well. 160 odd is a world-class player. Considering very, very little amount of that is taken up by pace, you got to say, very, very impressive. Since he moved from Juventus then, he played every game the following season for Milan after his January move the season before. 14 goals, 13 assists. What a season that was, the 32-33 season. We will check. He has to be player of the year, surely. The following year, he must have had an injury because he did not play as much, yet he was still playing fantastically well. And then this most recent season, he's made 33 appearances again, 13 assists, 3 goals, 3 player of the matches, a 7.49 overall. And has he won the league? They've won it 3 years in a row. He has won the league 3 years in a row with AC Milan. And I'd like to think that he was a bit of a catalyst for that change. Won by 5 points from Juventus there, won by 5 points there, and won by 3 points there. Player of the year. He's not been player of the year at all, though. Kai Abreu has. He's very good, to be fair. Kyle Byrne, also for AC Milan. Well, this guy's got an unusual sort of profile. £475,000 a week. Model professional personality. Was at Leeds, funnily enough. Signed from Leeds. The Leeds connection's strong with AC Milan right now. And he's the current Champions League winner. So Sammy Slow, despite the fact that we're saying Quentin Quick is better, he's actually been capped twice by England as well. Quentin Quick seems to be better in terms of his current ability rating because of all the pace, but we've seen him dominate the Italian league with AC Milan. He's come into AC Milan. We're going back to 31-32. Sorry. I just want to check something. Oh, can't check. We've not ticked over. We've ticked over, sorry. I wanted to see how much he'd brought them back from the brink, if he'd really helped them kick on and nearly win the league that first season. He went in January. But he's won a Champions League. He's now been capped by England. Quentin Quick has got 46 caps, so he's been capped a lot more. But don't know. I don't know. Have England won a trophy? They've won 2 Euros. One was in 2024. Quentin wasn't playing in 2024. He won the Euros in 2032. There you go. He didn't make his international debut till 2030, so he definitely didn't win it in 2024. So yeah, he's won a Euros, whereas Sammy's won a Champions League and taken Serie A by the scruff of the neck. Winning League One, winning Liga Uber Eats in France, to me, isn't as impressive as Serie A. I just see that as a much stronger league. Even though Serie A is not as strong as it once was, still got sort of the rose-tinted glasses from the 90s, where it was like elite. In the early 2000s, probably, really. So the 28 now, they're probably going to start to decline. So let's go through to 2030. So they're 30. They'll be. Let's go through till they're 32. 2039. Here we come. He's actually gone up another 1 attribute point. Sammy still remained at 160. He did make that move to Manchester United. He left PSG for free. Wow. He left for free. Of course, PSG have maintained winning the league. The Premier Division has been dominated by Man United. So now he's winning the Premier League with Manchester United. Have they been winning the Champions League? So we've had another Champions League here, AC Milan last season. Manchester United have won the most recent season, beating Juve. So they've both got Ryan Mason's in charge of Man United. He's got some very good attribute points as well. So he's done quite good for Manchester United, to be fair, as old Quentin. There's his profile. His speed is dropping, of course. Everything else has come right up. He's got very good greens there now. We compare him and Sammy Slow. I mean, Sammy Slow has actually got 11 for acceleration and 8 for pace, so his pace has continued to increase. He's now fairly professional. His professionalism has gone up to 15. Again, brilliantly rounded attribute points. You wouldn't even know which one was the better player now to begin with. You'd obviously say Quentin's much better because of all the physicals. The physicals are going to drop off the face of the earth, but he's caught up on most of the other attributes. In terms of AC Milan, so we've just seen him win a Champions League. Jack Wilshere's having a time of his life in Milan, dominating Serie A. 102 points, no draws, 4 defeats though. Still no player of the year for him, unfortunately. But Quentin Quick, Northwest player of the season. I'm not sure if that's going to... Quentin Quick has been player of the year for 2 years in a row for Manchester United. Look at that, 7.72. He's taking home the headlines. 72 caps, 30 goals for England. Sammy Slow, 31 caps, 12 goals for England. And they've won a World Cup. They've won a World Cup together in 2038, last season, in the final. Neither of them played. Sammy Slow's there on the bench. No Quentin. Well, Sammy Slow did score in the semi-final from the spot. Well, there you go. So they've won a World Cup together. So that's very interesting. I think we're coming to the end of the careers now. I mean, obviously, Sammy Slow's played a lot more games. And I think he's had a bit of a better career from my perspective, because he won 2 Champions Leagues. And the Quentin got into the England team earlier. Won probably a lot more domestic trophies. Now he's winning with Man United as well in the Premier League, and winning Player of the Year a couple of times as well. We'll come back end of the careers. Let's go to 2043. Right, they've both gone in 2043. Quentin Quick's still here in 2042. He's at Al Ahly. He moved for free again. So apart from going to PSG 53 million, he's never taken a transfer fee. No goals in his final season with Man United. Man United have maintained winning the league quite a lot. Arsenal have got -5 points, violation of budget rules. I just saw they weren't top of the league. I was like, have they been relegated? No, so he's gone to Al Ahly. He's lost a lot of his pace, so he's now rounding out back down. And he looks like a pretty solid player. He's got his other attribute points up to accommodate for that. 98 caps, 42 goals. Sammy Slow is actually an unemployed manager. He's wanted by Frosinone. His attributes aren't too bad. He stayed at AC Milan for his entire career. Serie A. Oh, Torino have won the league once. which Pep's in charge. What happened here? Jack Wilshere left the manager role after 7 years to go to Newcastle. De Zerbi came in and got sacked. Now Pep's there, who he was at Man City till 2037, then went to Arsenal. Seems to do that a lot in these simulations. Weird. In terms of the Champions Leagues, Manchester United have won 4 Champions Leagues in a row. 3 of them he would have been there. So I'm thinking, Quentin's probably taking it. He's got some golden balls, that's it. End of story. Quentin, 2 golden balls. Man United. There you go. World Player of the Year. Again, he's won 1. So I'd say Quentin takes it. So Pace takes it. Although it was close. It was very close. And for a time, I really thought Sammy was coming through. Maybe it was looking through a bit of biased eyes because I was thinking I hoped he was going to do it. But Quentin did take it in the end. He had the better career, in my opinion. But they both had very good careers, despite the fact that one had extreme pace and rubbish attributes, and the other had the opposite. They sort of balanced themselves out over the time as they improved. So when your youth players come through, it is not the be-all and end-all about whether they have a lot or little pace, because they can round themselves out. So it's important to nurture them properly. That's what we take from this experiment. And yeah, I think it was quite a fun one. Hope you enjoyed it, gang. Leave a comment down below of what you thought. Anything I may have missed as I was looking through. I've got to skim through things, so I do miss things. So if you see anything, spot anything, let me know. Any ideas for future experiments, please, again, in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you're still here. I did ask earlier, but if you didn't do it then and you're still here now, do it now, please. Making that big push for 4, then maybe 5,000. So really trying to kick on with the channel. But most importantly, gang, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one.